Good morning. One of the greatest entrepreneurs that America ever produced was James Cash Penney, better known as JC. It turned out that his father was a Baptist preacher, and he thought that when he grew up, he wanted to be a lawyer. But then his father died young, and because they needed the money, he had to go to work as a young person working as a clerk in a dry goods store. But what he discovered was he loved it. He loved working in a store like that. And so, in the end, when he got married, he and his wife moved to Kemmer, Wyoming in 1902, and there they opened their first dry goods store. They could live above it, and then the store was down below, always being able to keep an eye on things. And the two of them ran it, and it was very successful. He had a basic commitment. He said, "I'm going to sell quality items to you for a fair value." Now think about it, this was 1902. There were not a lot of consumer groups running around in those days. There were so many scams, people were always being scammed. And he made sure that whatever items he bought were quality items, and he sold it to them at a fair price. It worked. He said, "I'm going to sell items at a quality price, and I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated." Well, he did that in 1902. By 1929, 27 years later, he had 1,400 stores starting to stretch across America. No, it was hugely positive, very successful. And then he said to his employees, it seems to me that if we make a profit, I'd like to share that with you. I want to treat you, the employee, the way I'd want to be treated if I was an employee. And if I was an employee and we made a profit, I'd want to make part of that as well. So he started this profit-sharing plan. Again, he was so far ahead of his time for companies that would think about a profit-sharing plan. That's what he did to his employees. And so they wanted to stay with him. They wanted to give him their very best. And they too worked hard. He began to call his stores the Golden Rule stores, because that's how he wanted to live it. These are the Golden Rule stores. We're going to sell you items the way that we'd want to be treated. We're going to treat our employees the way that we wanted to be treated. It was incredible success. And then in 1929, the stock market crashed. The Great Depression hit America, and he almost lost it all. How do you survive in the midst of a Great Depression? He worked so very hard, but the stress was so great, the hours were overwhelming, and finally, he was about to break. He went and checked himself in at the Battle Creek Sanatorium. It was a place to be able to get away, to try to nurture your spirit, to try to find how to renew your spirit. He went to go be there. But while he was there, he went to a chapel service. And while he was standing outside the chapel, there he heard people singing, "Be not dismayed, whatever betide, God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide, God will take care of you." To the day he died, J.C. Penney would say, standing there outside that chapel hearing that song was one of those spiritual moments that changed his life. Standing there, he suddenly began to feel the presence of God. And he knew. He didn't have to be afraid. God was going to take care of him. In the good times and in the hard times. He didn't have to be worrying. He didn't have to be sober. God was going to take care of you. With that newfound peace and a sense of strength, he came back and went to work. And again, J.C. Penney's stores boomed across America. And as they boomed, he took that part of his life to give himself more to all kinds of causes across our country that he felt would leave this world a better place than he found it. He was an amazing man. He would live to be 95 years old, died in 1971. And wherever he went, he would talk about the secret of his success. It was the Golden Rule. To treat the customer the way you'd want to be treated. To treat his employees the way you'd want to be treated. Because he had discovered that Jesus really did know what he was talking about when he said, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." Maybe that's all we need to know to go out and make it a great day.